So, transitioning now into hack number 9 is embracing collaboration. You mentioned that we need each other, and we do. The way we grow and the way that we find opportunity is through collaboration. I mean, look at us right now. You and me are collaborating. Collaboration is the secret sauce, I think. It's not the easy to understand, listen, and communicate, but collaboration is just ridiculously powerful. When you collaborate with people who are totally different than you learn, you grow, and you build your awareness and understanding, right? So that can help you be an inclusion advocate because you're understanding a little bit better. But even though you have a conversation with one person that's different than you, doesn't make you an expert, right?
No, because that person doesn't represent every female or every, it's like, don't
and
that pressure.
That's exactly the bio-individuality piece that we just talked about. Everybody's so different, and there's no certain norm. There never will be a norm. And the fact that we've been pigeonholed into these norm thinking for generations, that's what is making it so challenging right now to build inclusive environments. So I love collaboration. What do you think? And what are your actions?
I do too. And it's so interesting working with organizations because sometimes you hear managers say the word and you just see people's body language cringe because it just becomes this buzzword of, they're going to make us collaborate again. So that means I'm going to do all this work and this other person's going to hang out on the side. We have to move it from being a buzzword to actually demonstrating and showing what it is. So as a manager, as a leader, as an employee, what does collaboration mean to you? What do you want it to look like? How do you see the result of it? Because then it just becomes this really annoying word we use for you're getting more work on your plate.
Yes. Oh, I love that you mentioned that it's a buzzword because it totally is. There's so many buzzwords right now that just make people feel ewy. I don't know.
It's like, let's collaborate so you can stay till 8 o'clock, but I'm going to go home. But this is definitely a joint effort.
Yeah, it's like in high school when you try to get paired up with the smartest kid in class, right? Come on. I needed that buddy. I needed that A. I was a C student. Anyways,
it's about modeling it, right? So it's modeling and showing we're going to collaborate with the marketing department over here, and this is what we're looking for as a result, and this can help them because of this, and this can help us because of this, and this is the skill set that they bring. So showing it and talking about it shifts it away from the buzzword and more of practical things that we can do to help each other grow.
Ooh, absolutely. I love that. Being very results or solution focused is ultimately how to keep people focused and keep pride. So with wrapping everything up into our final hack, which cannot be ignored. It's super important and it's so overlooked.
Yes.
And the constant gauge, keep a constant gauge on inclusion. Keep that following up, right? It's just like in sales. You can't just call somebody up, pitch them, and forget about them.
Right?
No. They're going to forget about you, right? So what do you think with how should people build that constant gauge or keep that in their back pocket and keep focusing on it to make sure that everybody is included?
And I think some of the stuff that we were talking about too before in terms of surveys and those types of things, engagement surveys, but you have to follow up. It can't just be, or you bring in speakers or coaches, but it can't just be boxes that you're checking of, diversity and inclusion is really important to us in January, but now it's like November, so we can move on to something else. And like, it's something that you have to keep a gauge on. Does it look like somebody's feeling it, looking that they're excluded? Did they share information last month and now they seem to be a little bit off? If you don't consider yourself somebody who's empathetic or somebody who has a strength in identifying what's going on, ask other people to kind of help you and keep a gauge on what's happening, because not everybody has that strength. Not everybody can see, oh, that person isn't talking in the corner, or, oh, these things are happening. But constantly creating and having those conversations during one-on-ones, whether it's with your supervisor, you're having small teams, just bringing up this as a constant part of the conversation and showing that it's important. It's not just a January thing. It's a, forever all the time thing.
I love it. Yeah, and you mentioned it. As soon as you said every January, we're going to focus on it. I think 99% of corporations in America are doing the same thing.
Or those engagement surveys I've worked with so many organizations, or I've been part of so many organizations. We'll get an engagement survey and you spend so much time because you're like, I really want to give my feedback. I really want to share. And then it just like disappears. And you're like, were the results so bad you didn't want to talk about or do anything with it? Did you forget you sent it out? Like, what's the story with the survey?
Gosh, I love it. I know. And then you get the survey so often, then you lose the pizzazz, right?
Yeah.
You lose the people that were going to be contributing. I've experienced that as well, where there's just too often the same exact survey. So flipping those questions up, rearranging them, doing different scenarios, all of that stuff is really important, and getting that buy-in and that feedback.
And focus
also,
groups, one-on-one.
Rewards, right?
Yes.
People love like free lunches if they
Yes.
reach a certain quota and stuff. So there are ways to, I don't want to say bribe, but yeah, kind of bribe.
People love food. They will answer any questions for food.
Absolutely. Free stuff. Right. Why not? Oh my goodness. Well, this has been an amazing conversation. I hope that everybody who's tuned into these discussions has taken away enough information to feel the importance of building an inclusive environment and figuring out what to do next. Right? So what they can do next is use the action steps that we've discussed, right? Or hire somebody like you to come in and help work with those workshops,